always compromise. I wanted to just talk you through one photograph in particular because, you know, I don't really have favourite photographs. I do have one photograph from many years ago which I always loved, and I think I've ever sold it, and I can't repeat it because I just don't know, I just can't repeat it. I've never seen it again. Sometimes, you know, when fishing, just, I don't know about you, but obviously when you're fishing, things go, there's a lot of fish around, you get excited. I get doubly excited when the light comes together and things start to go off and I start to hyperventilate and I start to get shake on my camera. So I have an image stabilizer system which helps me kind of, I do get quite excited. Sometimes once a year, twice a year, you may be in Ireland, you may be in Cornwall, maybe in the Seychelles. Sometimes stuff comes together, every single thing comes together, and you know, I'm not going to say it's perfect, because I've never shot a perfect photograph in my life, but it looks, to me it looks so cool, it looks so impressive, and it's almost, I suppose, the more you get into photography, the more you experiment. I mean, you know, we've never had a greater license to experiment with digital photography because it's free. In the days of film, God, try this, try that, binning rolls of film, just play. But it is recognising when to shoot the living daylights out of it, to recognise when everything's come together. And for you guys, it's probably harder than me. You know, I'm perfectly used to not fishing. You know, I do lots of trips abroad to arguably the best fishing on this earth. When I won't fish, I'm there as a photographer. And sure, it breaks my balls a bit to see guys catching GTs and I'm not. But you know, I love photography that much. But if you guys have got big bass on the feed and you've got hordes of, or something's going off, trying to drop your fishing gear and take photographs is not easy. But it just depends how much you want to kind of do it. And I don't know if you can see that photograph, but that for me, I actually shot it, I think it was on the 30th of December last year. That for me was just, it may not look like how much, but that to me says every single thing I want to say about bass fishing. It just, but again, I had an inkling something was going to happen. And then actually about 10 minutes before this, the light was more impressive, and I was working my way down the coast to this guy because the fishing was tough. We got it wrong. It was too much swell, and where we were fishing, you can't cope with that much swell. So this lad Jody wanders off down, and the light was starting to get really. I thought, geez, it's going to get really, really good in a minute. And then the clouds came in, but I was again working on a long lens, working down towards him, and I had a shot. You know, I'm trying to pre-visualize as well. I've got a shot in my head, which one time out of a million you might actually get. And by pure chance, you've got this massive swell rolling in. You know, you're thinking, God, wouldn't it be nice if we hooked a fish? I'm there, literally lined up, and I want a long lens, again, f2.8, because I want him to be pin sharp, everything else to be slightly defocused, to draw him in like that, again, a long lens again. And I can remember, I'm literally on him like that, thinking, please hook. You know, no one's hooked a fish all day. We got the conditions really badly wrong. And I swear, he goes and hooks a fish. Oh, God. This is perfect. So now he's hooked a fish. It's not actually that big, but now I'm getting greedy. So it's great. He's fighting the fish. He's not moving. So what I don't want, you know, I can't. You know, this isn't a paid job. I'm just fishing, but I'm taking photographs because I want to. I can't make this guy do what I want. I'll try, but I can't. I'm hoping he doesn't move because he's in my perfect position. The light wasn't as special as it was, but because the lights come a bit flatter, you know when you get very, very bright days. Do you ever photograph and you wonder why the water looks so white and so blown out and so sparkly? It's because, again, your camera is struggling to cope with the range of light. So actually, the lights come down softer, bit of cloud covers come down, which means basically it's much easier to hold the exposure on this guy. He has to be correct, okay? You've got to be grey jacket, light brown waders, whatever. But because that light's now come down, it's diffusing, I can now hold the texture in the water. Because if it was really bright, because he's wearing dark, you know, if he's wearing, when I go to, I photograph these jobs in some weird places around the world, and in the tropics, when you get very, very intense, bright blue skies, people tend to wear quite bright clothing, kind of shirts kind of that colour and that colour, and it lights up really well against the sky. But when they're wearing, when you've got very dark clothing against very, very, very bright water, if it had been very sunny, then I've got a problem. So again, another thing's come together for me. It's just pure chance, but I've got a bit of cloud cover, then holding my exposure on the water, and now he's fighting his fish, and now, then again, I'm starting to get greedy, okay? Think, God, please, you only get those sets of waves come in, please can I have a monster come in. I just wanted to explode and go off. And then, that's when I really start shaking. And then, because I'm on a motor drive, I'm shooting about 10 frames a second, go, stop, just trying to get the perfect moment, and you won't know until afterwards. Then a wave explodes behind him, and again, it's not dangerous because I'm compressing it, but if he gets it wrong, he falls in, but he wouldn't mind. And then, I didn't know till I got home, again, it means a huge amount to me, I saw the fish he hooked was actually in that corner. So, looks an incredibly simple photograph, but you know how, geez, you can't make your fish behave. You know, I can't make conditions of light behave. You can, you know, I wake up most mornings thinking about what I want. Oh, I want that kind of light and I want this, but you can't make it happen. I must like to. So it's kind of knowing when things come together, is knowing when to work it hard.